Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another live episode of Jacob's Ladder. I am your host, Jacob Betrayal, and I have something to share with all of you today. I hope you're doing amazing. I hope you can hear me okay. Give me a thumbs up and a okay Jacob in the live chat, because this is going to be one of those shows where we're going to do a little future speculation. I saw this on the cover of the Economic magazine, The Economist. And I said to myself, where's Trump? So I actually put this out on X, and I said to everybody, I put a little emoji next to it with the eyes. What do you all think? And one of you got it. One of you said, the Trumpster's gone. And that got me a little freaked out. Got me a little stressed out about the whole thing. I don't know if it does about you, because by the end of this show, you may find out that I have a bright vision for the future. I think that things aren't going to be as bad as we think. I think that there's a possibility that things could be better than ever before for some of us. Now, for the others, on the other hand, we don't really know. But I got to tell you something. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. You probably know this. You probably know. We got Tesla Cybertrucks exploding. One of the best commercials for Tesla going right now. The fact that, the people that wanted to put an end to America, well, they chose the wrong car to get into. They chose the wrong car. A lot of weird things happening. But what else is new? That's why I like that you come by and we spend a little time and we talk about all this nutty stuff. Now, The Economist magazine is a magazine that, it's owned by those bigwigs, the people that are in charge behind the scene, the master puppeteers. And they've been sort of predicting, the future for many, many years. We found this out by looking at covers. One of the covers I covered a long time ago. You like how I said covers and I covered it? I covered the covers. Who in the live chat's ready to go? Who smashed a like? Who smashed a like for old Jacob coming on here wearing his funky fresh hat? I'm feeling funky fresh today. Well, the world in 2017. When you looked at the numbers there, those represent 2017, 2018, 19, 2020, all the way up to 2024. And we correlated all the things that were happening in the world with those cards. I mean, we had, the hermit card, which was when the old lockdowns happened, And then the next part, if you take a look at it and you think about it, you find maybe there's a script playing out. And I do know that there is a script playing out, because I know God has written it from the beginning and that the end is finished already. So we have good news. But maybe there's some people that are in charge too that are trying to, we want to give you a good show. What does Elon say? Thank you for the super chat, Tammy. By the way, anybody who ever wants to hit the old super chat, if I miss you, make sure that you email me. My email's in the link of the description of the video. If it wasn't for the, for the super chats, I got to tell you something. If it wasn't for the Patreon support, I got to tell you something. Anything that you do, you go to PayPal, there's a link. Anything you do, I'm grateful for it. But the world in 2017 told us where we would be in 2024. And man, are we there right now. But then you look at this cover, the one to the left that just came out, the fight over America's economy. And you're like, where's Trump? Where's the Trumpster? Where's he been? Why all of a sudden do we find ourselves in a pickle? Because there are a lot of people that are really worried about the transition of power, me being one of them. Because, of course, I said I believe that God chooses our leaders for a reason, brings them to where they're supposed to be for a reason. And I think that we're really prime for the correction, don't you? I think that it's time for this country to get itself back in shape. We need food that's healthy. We need, less taxes, especially on unemployment, which was only supposed to be for a little while. The IRS and all that. All of this stuff, we need a better country. And I believe it's possible. But there's a story that's going on. If you look at it, and it's we'll say it's like in the stream of consciousness, is the fact that the other party is going to do everything that they can to make sure that Trump doesn't get in. If it wasn't for all the attempts on his life. In the year of the assassin, if you remember correctly, the Olympics, the opening ceremony, was the Assassin's Creed. And then we had Luigi Mangione. But how many attempts on the president's life? And now we have these two events that just went down. One of them right outside of Trump Tower, where the Tesla Cybertruck exploded. And the guy that was in it, he was dead. They say that it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound, that he killed himself before he blew it up. You know, that does sound like a master plan. I would think that a master plan would probably be you don't get yourself, unless you want to, send the Tesla stock skyrocketing, because now it's proving that stainless steel body is really worth its weight. It's like, what is the car, the thing with $80,000 or something? It's very expensive, this car. I've seen them. Remember I told you I saw it at my gym. But the Economist magazine, just a little while ago, had him as a big shadow. Take a look at that. That was the world ahead in 2024, and you had him basically overshadowing the world. And were they right? Yes, they were right. It was like the Trumpster he was everywhere. Overshadowed everything. And if you look right next to it, you see there's Millie's country right there. And you know what he's doing? He just kind of slashed the budget, slashed every job. Now, if you look to the top right-hand corner, you'll see it says 1 year, 3 months, that's 13, and then 17 days, 17. Now, that's the headshot, the famous headshot. If you know anything about the scripture and Revelation, people like to make jokes about that and the Antichrist, fatal head wound and all, which, by the way, has to do with the plague. That's a whole other show, a whole other story. If you're looking to point one enemy and say that that's the bad guy, you're missing the point, because the bad guy is already within all of us. Jesus said this. He said that nothing that goes into the man. So like you could be on social media and you can be doing everything you can, that you're sucking up all the fake news and the propaganda and stressing yourself out. Nothing that goes into you really hurts you. It's what comes out of you. So if you let things take root, you're going to have a little bit of a problem. But if you look between the pictures, it's, you got the 13 and the 17, but there's two pictures. So the second picture was he was the man of the year. Who else? And then if you look right below it, you look at this ominous picture of the Tesla Cybertruck exploding. It was like framed perfectly. Like if there was ever something to like make you say, oh my goodness, that's like an omen of doom, that would be the omen of doom. There's a lot of other sus stuff connected to it too before we get into breaking down the cover of this, new magazine. There's a lot of sus stuff around this from what happened in NOLA, New Orleans. Is NOLA like a new thing? I don't ever remember NOLA being a thing. I always thought it was just called New Orleans, but I guess, whatever. So anyway, he rang the Wall Street bell. This was a big deal. Why was this a big deal? Because if you look at the picture of it, and I covered this in one of my shows, it kind of looked like, the Last Supper. So I put out this little post where I started talking about, will he be betrayed? Is he going to be betrayed? I don't know what I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. This is all speculation. It's meant for entertainment purposes, but as well as I want you to question things. I want you to look down the road a little bit. I want you to not be so easily triggered and tricked, but we're just having some fun. And it's just so strange that picture of him ringing the bell, the Wall Street bell, was taken exactly 2 years, 10 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days from when I did a video called Donald Trump, More Proof We're in a Simulation, The Last Trumper. There he is. And that whole video, by the way, that's why the Undertaker's behind him, is about Trump ringing the bell. I can't make this stuff up. I can't make it up. Look at the dates. Look at the times. It's just strange. Because, of course, we know that a lot of people like to compare him to to the Messiah, right? In Israel, they probably think he already is the Messiah because their view of the Machachek is a little bit different than we picture Christ, the Prince of Peace. Their view of the Machachek is like he's going to come and he's going to be a conqueror. He's going to be a conqueror. And I got to tell you something, God chooses conquerors when people go astray. They do. He does, right? You know, I was talking to my mother last night because my stepfather, thank God, by the way, thank you for your prayers and everything else. He's out of the hospital. He's still not doing that great, but he's out of the hospital. My mother's like, things are so hard. My poor mother, she works so hard. I thought at this point in life I'd be able to take care of her. Yeah, right. We'll see. Maybe with the year that's coming, maybe something will break. But, she's saying, I feel like I have so much a burden, and she felt bad that she was treating people a little poorly. And I said, Mom, that's called growth. It's like we're put through the fire. I told everybody that Satan was going to come down and sift us like wheat. Why do you think we're all having such a problem with everything? Hey, we got a lot of people here already, and we don't got a lot of people hitting the likes. And I don't know if you know it, but when you hit the like button, it tells YouTube that you dig this. And if you could share the channel around, share this link, it's helpful. So smash the like right now. Right now. You'll feel better. I promise. You know what I'll do? Huh? You hit it? I'll give you the... There you go, huh? That's for the that's for a future that doesn't sound right. I'm gonna, we're gonna drop some bombs on that. So he rang the bell, and I worried a little bit. I thought that maybe it would have something to do with a little bit of a betrayal. So I started asking the question: is Trump going to be betrayed? And then you have this this Economist magazine cover coming out. And if you take a look at it, who looks the biggest on there? Who's the biggest? That looks like the E-Man, Elon Musk himself. He's like right there on top, and he's the biggest, the most influential. Vivek Ramaswamy, after he was done taking a big dump on American culture, which I took issue with. This guy. You look into him, right? Go to my X, by the way. If you're not following me on X, it's at JacobIsrael71. You should follow me there and let me know, and I'll follow you right back. These are billionaires he was not very scrupulous, okay? Let's just say that, and we'll just say that God's going to work some things out. But you have a lot of these people that are surrounding him. They're in his ecosphere, if you will, his swamposphere. And he's gone now. Not there anymore. Now, I don't want that to happen. I got to be honest with you. Over the years I've been covering the Trumpster, people always are, they're always back and forth. They're like, do you like him? Do you not like him? I always told you, he's my favorite character in the apocalypse. My favorite. Besides, myself and my family. But he's, you got the time travel element with Back to the Future and other things, Tesla, the connections, the fact that his uncle was the one that was around Tesla's stuff last. It's all, is there not a greater story being told today in the land than the Trumpster? I think there is. But I feel like when he rang that bell, I feel like that was a countdown. The countdown has begun. The countdown to liberty, which is interesting because the same thing that went down with the Tesla trucks was, by the way, let me just, I don't know if you saw this. I shared this on X, by the way. And here, and it was in my last video. By the way, if you haven't seen my last video, I do a video at least every other day. I'm going to shoot to try to do it like almost every day and only take off 2 days. Now I'm going to shoot to get like at least, I'm going to try to do 5 videos in a row, take 1 day off, then another, I'm going to try to do that. I don't know why. I just feel impressed to do more live shows because I'm a little insecure about doing live shows because of the tinnitus. It's hard to concentrate. It's hard to focus. And then I get some people in the comment section. They say things like, get to the point. I'm like, I'm doing my best. But the best Tesla ad ever is going right now because, if it wasn't for, the veracity of that Cybertruck, here, let me show you. Boom. If it wasn't for that, look at that cartoon. Death to America. Best Tesla ad ever. Yeah, that's basically like, the best advertisement you could think of, which is weird, that it's connected to, they're saying that it's connected to, they think that it has something to do with terrorism. You think cars blowing up on purpose? Think that has anything to do with it? But you know what? It is strange that Kekius Maximus, he shared the Tesla almost exploding 2 days earlier. I think I was one of the first to put this out. I don't want to take credit, but yeah, I think I was. I think it was a lot of other people have put it out since. But, I find it strange. I find all this stuff strange. I mean, maybe they're all time travelers. Maybe Elon's time traveler too, but he puts it out. I mean, look at his comment, what he said. He says, Cybertruck looks like the future. And then 2 days later into the future, ba-boom. Okay, ba-boom. Very strange. If you haven't seen my last show, you should check it out because it has to deal with the fog, which, by the way, Nicholas reached out to me and he says, do you know that the word fog is also the word witness? And I thought that was so strange that there's 2 mentions of fog in Scripture. Well, it's translated, that's the meaning. But, like when God created the mist that rises, it's a picture basically of God's truth. In Scripture, it says that we see through a glass darkly. Some would say that it's just basically, we're seeing basically an obscured view. We don't really know what we're seeing, but the day that comes, we do. We do. And I'm hoping that the day that comes is going to be a good day. It seems like tariffs is going to be a thing. This is another reason why I don't want to see Donald Trump gone. Do you think I want that? I mean, it's been quiet, right? Hasn't it been quiet? Like a lot of people haven't been, there haven't been like major protests. Not many of them. It's been very quiet since he won the election. Remember last time? It was a lot different. So you feel like there's this impending thing coming where it's going to happen. But that would be so predictable. That would be so predictable. Almost as predictable as the fact that Mike Johnson just got nominated. Thank you, Emerald Light. I mean, we all knew that was going to happen. Michael Johnson, he is, listen, in one of my past shows, I talked to you that we were going to be moving away from like perversion and everything else. This is God's correction. It's coming in. Things are going to be more moral. That's why you're going to be okay if you're a productive member of society. But the laws are going to change. Mark my words. I've said this before. All right. And when we have these things that just happened with the New Orleans, I don't even want to get into it, but there's all this weird stuff always attached to it. Truth Seeker on X, you should check him out. He has a YouTube channel too. He shared this. I guess somebody figured out that the statue in the background was one of New Orleans mini jazz statues. That's strange. What was weird was I was looking at that picture yesterday or the day before. I don't remember when it was, whenever the picture first came out. And I was trying to figure out what that statue was because I said, it looks like it's being projected against the wall. It's like foreshadowing, and then you look at the word behind them. And what does that word say? Discipline. This is correction. What is discipline, right? Spoil the rod. What is it? Spare the rod, spoil the child. We're getting the rod. It's called the rod of God. It's discipline. The word is discipline behind him. And what do you think? What do you think we're headed for? We're headed for discipline. You think with all the things that are happening that it's not going to be more strict around here? It's going to be more strict. It's going to be more strict, and it's going to get weirder. Almost as weird as when Elon put out his Kekius Maximus post. Kek, the god of darkness, the god of, we've spoken about this. We've spoken about it years and years ago. Well, when he changed his what do they call it? Profile, his avatar. When he changed his avatar to that, I said to myself, I go, this is going to be something. This is dark maga time, baby. Because Kek is the god of darkness in Egypt. Everything's about Egypt. Elon even joked. Remember, we talked about this as well. He joked when he was talking to Peterson. He's like, oh, maybe our God will come from Egypt. It's, that's where XAI is located, by the way, in Memphis. That was like the capital of Egypt. That's where XAI is. And so yesterday, this Pepe, which is a very famous famous frog Pepe, posts that right there, ascension. And you know what the ascension is? It's the rising of Christ. It's when Christ ascends into heaven. There's the scripture where, you know, there were the two disciples and they were walking away and they were kind of like bummed out because Jesus was dead, and they were like, he was promised to return and they didn't know, right? And well, there were the two disciples that saw he ascended. They were looking up, and the angel says, "Why are you looking up?" And he's like, "Oh, well, because the same Jesus that ascended will come again the exact same way." And a lot of people get that wrong because they get the picture of him now coming down. Ascending means to rise up. So when the angel was talking to the two, and they were saying, and the angel was saying, he will return exactly as he left, it's an ascension. So that's what the return is, the coming again of Christ, like a mist rising in the earth. That's why I thought it was so cool that he shared that with me. But I want to point out how the frogs are an issue, okay? And, you know, what's really weird about the whole frog thing is the fact that I did a show about, you know, in the book of Revelation, you know, there are these characters, the spooky characters, the dragon, the antichrist, and the false prophet. And out of their mouths come frogs. Frogs in scripture, if you look at it, there was a plague of frogs. Plague of frogs. Let me put that in terms that you can understand, okay? Because the frogs were compared to deception, lies. Okay, so out of the father of all lies, you got these frogs. It's a plague. You're going to be plagued by a bunch of frogs. What are the frogs? You're being plagued by lies. So I explained in that video months ago, and it was like within a certain amount of time. I should have pulled it up from when he changed his profile picture to Kekius Maximus. Which, by the way, I got to say something before I move on. If you take a look at my post, you'll see it right there. It's dark MAGA time, baby. Okay, and let me just move this down so you can see the time when I posted it. I posted it, you know, early, and for whatever reason, it ended up going viral. Okay, which is strange to me. And so then, you know, you got all these new influencers that have been popping up all over the place, right? You probably see this guy in your feed. I'm not even going to tell you what his name is. I don't want anybody to give him a hard time, but there he is talking about what I posted about using my very own creation. You know, like if you take a look at it, you'll see it's my creation. Up top right, you see how it's blurry in the background? You know why it's blurry in the background? Because that was Elon Musk's page, and I didn't want everybody to see all the lines, so I pulled it down so it was a little obscured. Look at the highlighted words, God and Goddess of Dark. And look at his God. So this guy, he sees my post, and what does he do? I'm going to create a video. And what does he do? He does it better than me, right? He does it. It's sloppy. It's all over the place, but it's informative and it's fun and it goes viral. But does he say, "Oh wow," you know? Does he say, "Oh Jacob, you know, check out Jacob. Jacob pointed this out"? No, he just takes it like a lazy man and shares it as his own, right there behind him. And then look at his comment, too. Looks like dark MAGA will rise. And what do I write? It's dark MAGA time, baby. I got to tell you something. This is what gets me angry. It gets me angry because he just got on X like in October of 2024. They got these people that they promote, you know, and I just don't feel like they're I don't feel like they're as sincere. I feel like there are a lot of content thieves. You know, like I try to give credit where credit is due. When I see things, I point it out. I say, "Oh, check this out." But anyway, let me get back to what I wanted to say. The fact that Kekius Maximus, however you want to pronounce it. In Egypt, it was one of the plagues before Israel was set free. It was the frogs. Okay, in the book of Revelation, I'm going to tie them together for you because it's the same story. There's nothing new under the sun. Book of Revelation, the frogs come out and they plague the earth, the whole earth. In Egypt, they get into everywhere, into the people's beds, into their homes, into their kitchens, everywhere. You don't think AI is all over your life? AI is all over your life. You don't think AI is controlling what's going on in the bedroom, in the kitchen, and at school, and at play? I'm sorry. We are 100% occupied by forces that are far more complex, and they've been trained on deception to begin with, because the frogs are lies. So what do? I shared this. Let me just play this for you. It's from a while ago. I'm not going to play the whole thing. Here, let me just close this out. Okay, so here we go. I go scary, quinky, dinky, do. Now look at the times again. 2:02. Oh, before I forget, let me push this over here. Before I forget, I want to show you another thing with the time here. This was so strange too. I almost forgot to point it out. Oh, it's going to bother me. It doesn't matter. You know what? Okay, so connections are great, and it's even better when they have to do with these numbers that I love. So 202 days before Elon changed his profile picture, okay, Kekius Maximus, I warned XAI, Meta AI could be the 3 unclean spirits, frogs, released on the world. Revelation 13 fulfilled. So just take a look at this, and let me make sure that the it's not going to blow your brains out. I just want to play just the opening of it, okay? And then if you haven't seen this, you can go to my X and you can watch it, or you can watch it on YouTube. I mean, that is quite interesting to think that, I mean, the 3 of them, you think about it for a second, plagues on the whole earth. These are the most powerful AIs companies in the world. Is it so hard to believe that they could have been poured out? Like, this is the same story happening, but we have a different set of characters now. We got like frogs that literally look cute, like little cartoons, right? It's a good thing. In any event, I hope that this show helped you, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have the best day ever. I got to go. I got a doctor's appointment now. So I love you all. Don't get freaked out, okay? Do we have to worry about Trump? Do we have to worry about him in the future? I don't think we got to worry about anything. I think that whatever is going to come, God is going to give us the ability to handle it. All right? I love each and every one of you. Please do me a favor, will you? Support the channel. Get yourself some of the merchandise. You can get it in the description of the video. That's one way to do it. You can become a patron. Every couple of weeks we do a show, and you can maybe even get on YouTube with me. I could use the support. I could use the help. If this channel is a blessing to you, please do me a favor. Yeah, I can't tell you that God's going to bless you and anything else like that. I'm not a church. I'm not tax exempt. But I do know that it will be something that will be beneficial to all of the world if I stay on here. I think that it's helpful. So you go to the description of the video, click more, click it again, open it up. All the links are there. You can get a copy of my novel. You can get Truly Free Home products, which is trulyfreehome.com. These are like toxin-free, chemical-free products that are great for the house. You get 30% off with code Jacob. Anything you do, even if it's just, please share the videos around. Tell people, check out Jacob. If you enjoy it, if I'm a blessing to you, because I could use the help. And I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.